All right, let's dive right in. Today we're talking about a psychologist who dared to do something that sounds, well, impossible. He tried to scientifically measure one of the most personal parts of human life, our faith.
I mean, this question gets right to the heart of a classic divide, doesn't it? You've got the world of measurable science over here, and the deeply personal, subjective world of belief over there. For centuries, it felt like these two things couldn't even exist in the same room, let alone be studied together. Yeah, look at this. On one side, it's all about what's objective, what's data-driven, what's measurable. But on the other side, it's all about what's subjective, what's personal, what's faith-based. It's like a massive wall was built between these two worlds. So the big question is, how could you ever build a bridge to connect them?
And that's where our main character, psychologist Ralph W. Hood Jr., enters the picture. And believe me, he didn't just build a bridge. He proposed a revolutionary new way of thinking about this whole divide.
Okay, so here's Hood's brilliant idea. He just completely sidestepped the whole argument. He basically said, look, let's stop debating whether someone's faith is scientifically true or not. Instead, let's focus on something we can study. How does that belief actually impact their life, their behavior, their emotions? That is something you can actually observe and measure.
His whole point was that these really personal spiritual experiences, they have real-world consequences, you know? They create effects that you can actually see and measure, just like any other psychological phenomenon. He wanted to take faith out of the philosophy classroom and put it right under the microscope in the psychology lab.
Okay, so how do you even start to tackle something as huge and complex as religion? Well, Hood's first move was smart. He said, let's break it down. He realized right away that it's not just one thing.
So he came up with this multi-dimensional model. It's not a simple checklist. It's this whole web of interconnected stuff. A person's spiritual life isn't just about belief. No, it's a mix of rituals, powerful emotions like awe and hope, shared teachings, moral guidance, the whole shebang. It's an entire ecosystem that makes up a person's experience.
And this is what's so powerful, right? It totally reframes the conversation. Religion stops being this abstract concept, something out there. Instead, it becomes this deeply integrated part of what makes us, well, us. It's this dynamic loop between what we think, what we feel, and what we actually do.
All right, so Hood has this new map of the spiritual experience. But a map's no good without a way to explore the territory, right? So he needed a tool. And what he came up with next, honestly, it was a total game changer. He created a way to measure what everyone thought was unmeasurable. He called it the mysticism scale, or the M scale for short. And what is it? It's basically a super carefully designed questionnaire. But it's a questionnaire that lets researchers put a number on experiences that used to just be personal stories. You know, those incredible moments where you feel a sense of unity or peace, or connected to something much bigger than yourself.
And this is the magic trick, right here. The M scale literally took those fuzzy, transcendent moments and turned them into cold, hard data. It was proof. It proved that those deeply spiritual experiences aren't just in your head. They are real, valid, psychological events that you can actually study scientifically. And the impact of this thing was just huge, seriously. The M-scale wasn't some obscure little tool used by a few people. It became the gold standard. It's still one of the most widely used instruments today for researchers all over the world who are trying to get a handle on these profound human experiences.
Okay, so you might be thinking, this all happened decades ago. Why does it still matter? Well, it matters because that bridge he built, that bridge between the world of science and the world of spirituality, is more crucial today than ever.
What Hood really did was give us a much richer, more complete picture of what it means to be human. He proved that faith and psychology aren't enemies. They're not opposites. Actually, they're complementary. They're two different but equally valuable tools we can use to understand ourselves, how we find meaning, how we get through tough times, and how we grow as people.
So in the end, his work really shows us that faith isn't just some abstract idea we talk about. No, it's a powerful psychological force. It's a force that actively shapes who we are, that builds up our resilience, and that helps guide us on that search for inner peace and self-awareness.
And that leaves us with a pretty incredible thought, doesn't it? Ralph Hood opened a door. He proved that if you have the right tools and you're willing to ask the right questions, science can explore the deepest parts of our inner lives. So it makes you wonder, if we can study spirituality, what other unmeasurable part of being human are we going to figure out how to understand next?